Heyo. Friday Love Fest.
Friday. It's October.
It's October.
It's October, so it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
It is.
And in case y'all didn't know, we teach love. While we teach about healthy relationships, a huge part of our motivation, I should say, is to eliminate abuse
Domestic violence.
and violence. So, just a little tidbit.
So it's an important month for us. Be talking about what we talk about.
Yes.
Also, today's the 4th. Shout out to my dad. Happy birthday. My mom's was 2 days ago. Happy birthday. So we're going to talk about comparing ourselves to other people.
Yes. And how unhealthy that is.
Yeah, and why we do it and how useless it is.
So you had a really good example.
So I was watching the Mystics play a couple nights ago. They're in the finals.
Team.
That's right. Go Mystics. And one of the things, at one point in the game, we ended up losing the game, but it was exciting, right? And at one point in the game, Aerial Powers came in the second half and was like this spark. She literally got the entire arena on their feet, roaring. She brought this energy, and at that moment I was like, oh my goodness. Well, one, no offense, coach, I was like, why hasn't she been in more? But she brings an energy, and nobody else had brought that energy yet, and I was like, I wonder how that feels, right, to the other teammates. I wonder if somebody's jealous about the attention, because she's gotten tons of attention for that video, and wonder if there's like comparisons going on. And then I also watched the video about 725 times, and I realized that when she goes off, her teammates, they like lift her up. Like that's part of what made her shine so bright, is how they played their roles comfortably instead of trying, like, having a takeover spirit and trying to do what she did.
Yeah.
And how important it is in a team, will show you that really quickly, how important your role is and like staying in your lane is, so that you get the whole team wins versus feeling like one person has to do everything.
Exactly. Especially because one person can't do everything well.
Right. Capacity.
Everyone doesn't have the capacity to do everything well. So that's why it's important to like recognize your strengths and weaknesses, whether you're on a team or in a relationship of any kind. That's a relationship, being on a team. And to, I think in particular, not discount your self-worth and not discount, who you are and what you bring to the table because you don't bring the same thing as someone else.
Right. And in one moment, what they bring, it might be really necessary, and to let them have the space to bring it and shine and make the change and like shift the energy like they should.
Yeah. And
know that your time will come where your gifts will be needed, necessary, and appreciated, right?
Yeah. I was having a similar conversation. I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
I was just going to say, it doesn't eliminate your value because right now they're valuable.
Right. Because in this moment, we need this particular skill.
Right.
I think that's important. I was having a similar conversation recently about relationships and equality. And in particular, we were talking about gender roles and, so regardless of like the makeup of the relationship, this idea that, one party does this and the other party does that, and those being kind of rigid, strict roles, instead of people being more fluid, for lack of a better word, and just, whoever's good at this thing should be doing that thing.
Right.
It shouldn't be because you are, one sex or the other, or because you fill one role or the other, that you do that thing. And I think what's telling about that when we're having like a gender role conversation is that there's this idea that you're less than if you do certain things, instead of it just being like, no, this is my strength, that's your strength, we complement each other, like it's something where we feel maybe insecure if we're not playing a certain part.
And honestly, it's just because like society cultures have like added weight and value to things that don't exist. Like they've made them a bigger deal than they are, right? And it just is what it is. Like taking out the trash is just taking out the trash. It's not a thing. Like it's like if you have all the physical attributes that allow you to do that, you can do it, right? It's not doesn't make you a man or a woman or strong or weak or
because a lot of these things. What's interesting is you will be doing them when you're not in a relationship with someone, in particular a romantic relationship. You'll have to do them on your own, and so it's.
And I'm quick to be. Like disappointed when I don't get to do the things I'm good at because I want to contribute to a relationship. And so when I'm like good at the thing and then like they do it, it's not because they did it. It's because like, oh, but that's like my gift.
Yeah.
That's what I give you. Or I might even just really enjoy doing it. Right. Like it's something I like to do, which is often the case for me with chores.
And for me, I think there have been times where I don't know, like there's things I enjoy doing that I'm also sort of expected to do, like cooking. And so then it's like I needed to be known that I'm doing it because I enjoy doing it versus because
so like
it's what's expected. Right. Yeah. It's what's expected of me.
Yeah. And I think like obviously being in like heterosexual relationships, you're going to be potentially like expected to falling into that trap more often than
but I guess regardless of what you're doing, I just realized that sort of about myself, but regardless of what you're doing, I think like what's most important when you're comparing, you know, like your experience to someone else or you know, your role to someone else's is remembering that you are worthy just because you exist.
Period.
And so whatever you are bringing to the table is valuable. You are bringing something that is unique because your perspective is unique to you. And so I think just where we get tripped up is, oh, well, if I'm not, you know, like if I'm not Michael Jordan, then I'm not significant at all. And it's like, you know, when I was watching Michael Jordan, we talked about the whole team.
Oh yeah,
you know,
Scotty, all the guys,
Rodman. So it wasn't just him, and he couldn't be him without the support of his team, and they couldn't do what they were really good at doing, you know, if he wasn't sticking it to his lane and what he was good at. So I think for me the biggest part is just when you get into a comparison game, it's a slippery slope into you feeling less worthy.
And I mean, and it should like trigger awareness that your ego is talking a lot right now, right?
Yeah.
Your spiritual self, your like confident, aligned self isn't worried about what other people are doing, right? It's confident, knows what it does is worthy, it knows its existence matters, it knows its perspective is unique. It's your ego that makes you think like you're not doing enough, you're not showing up in the same way as them, so maybe you're failing.
You're not
it's
as
this
important.
comparative nature,
right?
And so it's a good trigger point for you to say like, hey ego, take a seat.
Yeah, I think that's okay. When you're starting to feel less important or less significant, less valuable, less worthy, less celebrated, less anything, less than it, that is an excellent time to stop and be like, okay, why am I feeling this way? Why am I comparing myself to this person? Why am I not celebrating what I uniquely bring to the table and just who I am?
Period. Good. Yeah.
So
shout out to the Mystics. Do your business. Take care of things in Connecticut. There's a little EDD for you. We got you all over the bar over here. Sponsored by Aloho today.
Yes.
We love you.
We teach love.